what we are practicing, of course, is the speaking test. This is what you wanted to practice?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, so at the moment, I've just got Ding Ming, okay, practicing some of the answers with me to part 1. Do you have another copy, Mrs.?
Yes, okay, I will make already.
Come in.
Okay. I'm absent-minded.
Come in. Come in. Okay, so just been at the moment, we're just looking at the answer to question 1. All right. So you remember that the strategy, the plan for answering question 1 or part 1, remember, is you answer the question and you give an what?
Example.
Close, very close. Not examples, but
Explanation.
correct. Okay, very good. Okay. So you can see here, for example, in this answer here, the answer to question 1. Okay, you can see they answer the question. All right. Tell me about your accommodation. Okay, I live in a fairly big apartment. You know this word, this adjective?
Yeah, it means like a million.
Yes. As Ding Ming was saying, it means, what did
Ngọc
you
Hà
say?
giải thích cho cả Đình Minh con luôn hộ bác nhé.
Fairly big means
Very big, but
Khá là
yeah, big but not too big. Fairly, so fairly just means is a modifying adverb. Okay, so if you say something is fairly big, it means big but not too big. Fairly small means small but not too small.
Yeah.
Okay, your motorcycle is fairly fast but not too fast.
Fast enough.
Yeah, fast enough. Exactly. That's what fairly means. So fairly is an adverb that modifies it. Just looking at this word here, which Ding Ming didn't know. Do you know this word? Huge. What does huge mean?
It means big.
Very big.
Yeah.
Something that is huge is very big. Spacious. Great. Okay. And is on the 4th story. Okay. Can you keep reading, please? Okay.
It's a multi-story building.
Wait, what happened?
What happened? Oh, the ink.
Mực chảy ạ?
sợ chảy mưa.
Chắc là soi vỡ ở đâu?
Oh no. Your floor okay? Oh. You want a hand?
No.
Oh.
Do I continue? It's a multi-story building with a welcome neighborhood around. Also, the building is close to the town center, and our unit has a nice view.
Okay, so this is like a band 9 answer, all right? It has a lot of different vocabulary in it,
Yeah.
okay? And it has a lot of different like adjectives, like a welcoming neighborhood, okay? A welcoming, what is a welcoming neighborhood?
It's similar to hospitality.
Yeah, so welcoming neighborhood is a neighborhood where everyone is,
Welcome.
yeah, give me another synonym, begin with F. Everyone in the neighborhood is F.
Friendly.
Correct. Good. A welcoming neighborhood is one that is friendly. Does that make sense, Dingley? Okay. So, like I say, just looking at some of this vocabulary, only look at some, otherwise we will be here all day, just looking at new words. And there are only so many new words you can learn at one time. But this just gives you an idea, and also for each of the rest of these questions, the sort of answer you can give if you want to get a band 9 score. Does that make sense?
Yes.
For example, this word here, I reside. Okay, reside is actually not a very common word. Okay, can you guess what it means? Naka? Yes, correct. It just means live. It's a synonym for live, but it is not a common word. All right, so words like this you don't need to know.
No.
You could just say, I live with my family. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, it's perfectly fine. All right. So this word here, reside, just means live. I live with my family. I reside with my family. Okay, reside and live mean the same.
Yeah.
But it's very unusual words, so don't worry about learning. Okay. This first sentence here. Okay. So the question is, how long have you lived there? And the answer is, can you just read it, please?
My family had to relocate frequently when I was growing up.
Good.
but,
So what does relocate mean, do you think?
It means move from
Correct.
this place to
Correct. Very good. Okay. So again, this is just showing some of the different words you can use instead of using simple words. But if you use simple words in the test, still okay. Okay, as long as you are just using them correctly and fluently. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, don't worry if you look at an answer like this and think, oh no, I don't know half these words. Half these words are unusual to me. This is just to give you an example of what you could do to get a band 9. But you could still get a band 9 by using simple words, using them correctly and fluently. Okay? Alright. Over the page, please. So, looking at number 4. Alright, so I will ask you the question and can you read me the answer to number 4? Okay? Alright, so, Nokha, what's your favourite room in your home?
Without doubt, my bedroom is my favorite space in the house. I spend most of my time in my comfort zone. The ceiling is painted in white and lovely lights. While its walls were painted in summer pink color. Also, my room has everything I need, including an air conditioner, a big TV, a cabinet, a coffee bed, and a recliner. It also has a bedroom bed next to it.
Okay, alright. Some of these words here, again, maybe you are unfamiliar with them. Just be careful, Nokha, words like white, make sure you pronounce the last consonant, okay? You said to me, why, right, which is not correct. The ceiling is painted in white. What does in white mean? You need to say white. You need to be able to hear the last consonant, which is the T. It's white. Just be careful with that. All right, and this word here, recliner. Okay, recliner is just another word for a sofa. Okay, recliner. Recliner just means like sofa. Okay, somewhere that to recline means to lie down. Okay, so you could lie down if you are watching TV on the sofa. Okay, question number 5. I'm going to get you in a moment to give your own answers to these questions. But this is just to give you an example of the sort of answer you can give. So, Ding Ming, question number 5, please. I will ask you the question and you read the answer.
Yeah.
What sort of accommodation would you most like to live in?
I must say, I would rather like the hall than apartment. However, franchising or renting residence in the city center is almost
Unfeasible.
unfeasible due to rising housing and
Accommodation.
accommodation.
We therefore.
We therefore feel content with our place for the
Time being.
But given the option, I would move to a town and buy a
Sizable.
home and a lovely lawn in a point.
Okay, pretty good, Ding Ming. Okay, a lot of adjectives here you are probably not familiar with. Anything you want me to explain to you? Nokha? Otherwise I won't bother. Otherwise we will be here all day because there are so many adjectives. Are there any words that you would like to know?
This one, unfeasible.
Unfeasible means not realistic. Okay? It can't be done. Something that is unfeasible. It's another way of saying impossible. Okay? Just another way. It's just a synonym for impossible. But it's not quite impossible. The unfeasible just means, oh, I can't do it. Okay? It is unfeasible for me to go to school at 8 a.m. because I live too far away. My house is too far away. Okay, so Does that make sense?
Yes.
And for you, Ding Ming, this word here, purchasing just means to buy. To purchase something means to buy. Residence is the same as accommodation.
Resident, I know.
Yeah, residence and accommodation. We just had unfeasible means very difficult or impossible. Very difficult or impossible. Okay, and sizable. A sizable home means what? What does it mean? Simple word. Sizable just means
Normal.
big.
Big enough.
Big. Sizable just means big. Something that is sizable is a synonym for big. Okay, good. And one more of these, not hard. I'll read number 6 for you. Why do you think some people invest a huge amount of money buying houses?
People purchase real estate for a variety of reasons. The most crucial one, in my opinion, is privacy. Since you are the owner, you will have far more autonomy and freedom to make any improvements you like. In addition, it would foster a sense of ownership. Your home, no matter how big or tiny, is your property.
Okay, again, I don't know actually anyone who would speak like this. Okay, this is very formal. This is the sort of thing you could write, but I don't know. Remember, I've said many times, doing the IELTS test is conversation. Okay, this is not really conversation words, these are writing words. Okay, so these answers a little bit unrealistic, but at least they give you an idea of the sort of thing you can talk about. Okay. Any words there you want to check? Crucial means important. The most important reason, the most important one. Crucial is synonym for important. Okay. Autonomy. Just so you know, autonomy means you can do what you like. If you have autonomy, it means you are free to choose. So, for example, if you say to me, I have autonomy over what subjects I study, means you can choose to study whatever subjects you like. The teacher doesn't tell you. So autonomy just means you have freedom to choose. It is one word that means freedom to choose. Does that make sense? Again, don't worry, you don't have to learn these words. Okay? I'm just explaining them to you now so that you know. Okay. Well, it's like foster a sense of, I'm not even going to bother to explain that. Don't worry. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, put these down, and I'm going to ask you these questions, okay? So remember, all I want to hear, Ding Ming, is to answer the question and give an explanation. Just 2 or 3 sentences, all right? Just naturally, like you were talking to me. Okay, not hard. Tell me about the sort of accommodation you live in.
I live in a sizable house, which contains all my family of 5 members. It has a lot of bedrooms, and if I don't remember wrong, it has about 5 bedrooms. But
Bedrooms is plural, so it means an S.
my house has 4 floors, and it's painted in cream paint, and it's kind of cozy place and pleasant.
Okay, it's not kind of, it's not quite right. Probably it's a very cozy place.
Yeah, I used to have habit to say the word kind of.
Yes, okay. Maybe not for a test. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It can be if you use it, don't worry. Okay. It's not like it's a mistake, but maybe a little bit
Not suitable.
Yeah, a little bit not suitable. Kinda, it's like slang.
Yeah.
Okay? If you say kinda.
I got used to it in when I speak in the
Of course.
have the word
Of course.
similar.
Yeah. It's probably okay. Alright. Because like I say, this test is about communication. Okay, your turn, Ding Ming. Okay. Who do you live with? I live
I live
with
my family. And
who is in your family?
my family has four person.
Hmm?
That's my grandfather,
Hmm?
grandmother, mom, dad, and my brother is five.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's fine. That's fine, Domingo. Okay, so you answer the question, you give an explanation.
Explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay. Aha, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
I have lived in the house since I was born. My family didn't relocate it for like about more than, I can remember about more than 20 years. So I can say that I lived there since I was a child and I spent most of my life there.
Good. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Good English. Okay, Ding Ming. What is your favorite room in your home?
My favorite
My favorite room
my favorite room
is
my favorite room
Yes.
the bedroom.
my bedroom.
It's my bedroom. I like bedroom because I can say again.
I can say it here.
I can try again.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite room in your home?
Yeah, in my opinion, my favorite room is the bedroom, and I spend a lot of time in my bedroom for sleeping and learning. I do my housework in the bedroom, and my bedroom has a big TV, and the line is the leg, yeah, and have some color, very fun. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. What was the last part you said? It has some color and is very.
It's very
You said very fat. It's not.
I think it's fun.
Oh, fun. Okay. Just careful with your pronunciation. Okay. The light has some color and is very fun.
Very fun.
Okay.
Because it can nhảy là gì?
It can like I don't know how to explain this opinion.
Kiểu nhảy theo nhạc ấy.
Like it can like following the music. Can you imagine it?
The light follows the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have the beat in music.
I
and
understand.
it will-
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So in English, you would say the light is connected to the music. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The light is connected to the music. Yeah. So if the music has a beat,
Yeah.
so you're saying then the light
Yeah.
Yeah.
go on and off in time with the music. That's what you say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The light go on and off. So the light is connected to the music, so that when the music plays, the light goes on and off in time with the music, which means at the same time as the music.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so just one other correction. For these questions, you don't need to say "in my opinion," because these are not opinion. Okay, so don't say "in my opinion."
Yeah.
Okay. These are things just about you. How do you? Yeah. What is your favorite room? Yeah. You don't say "in my opinion," my favorite room. Okay.
Yeah.
You just say "my favorite room is." Okay. Knock out.
Yeah.
What sort of accommodation would you most like to live in?
I think I would like to live in sizable house
Size of house.
because I think it will have more space for me to build up more artistic rooms such as reading books, reading rooms, or computer games rooms, Also, I can have many space to invite my friend and have a lot of family gathering occasion.
Okay, fine, that's good. All right. Bing Ming, okay. Why do you think some people spend a lot of money buying houses?
I think some people spend a lot of money to buy a big house because they need big house for living. And maybe their maybe their family have some people and their live and they live a big house for maybe 10 people. And if small house they can have space to 10 people and I I think I like to 10 tỷ 10
Invite.
invite your friend go your home and
Come over.
Come.
come
Over.
and play. And, I think
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, that's good. You are speaking at a good length. Yeah, lots of sentences. That's good. And just as Nokha was saying there, remember people come to your house. Okay. Come to your house, or you go to someone else's house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You go, or people come. So come is in this direction. Okay, when they're coming to you. So you don't come to school, you go to school.
Yeah.
Okay, but your friend will come to your house. Okay, so I'll just change the questions around now and ask you the ones I didn't ask you before. Nokha, who do you live with?
Well, I live with my family of 5, which are my grandma, my parents, and my little brother.
That's good. Yeah, very hard to give a long answer to that question. So if it's only a short answer, just give a short answer. Good. All right. Big Ming, tell me about the kind of accommodation you live in.
I live in very small with my family and it have 5 bedroom and one kitchen, 5 showers and I live in bedroom with my brother and in
Any more?
My neighborhood very kind and
Okay, my neighborhood is very kind. My neighborhood is very kind. Okay, just a couple of corrections. You share a bedroom with your brother. Okay, share is probably a better word. Okay, instead of saying I live in a bedroom with my brother, okay, you say I share a bedroom with my brother. Okay, means you both live there. And share is the best word. And just be careful with the word house. When you say house, good. Need to hear the S. Okay, house. I think you said to me, I live in a house. What's a house? Okay, to say house. House. Okay. Now, what is your favorite room in your house?
Well, my favorite room in the house definitely my bedroom because it's a cozy and comfortable place for me to relax and study. I can spend a lot of time staying in my bedroom all day.
Okay, great. Okay. What sort of accommodation would you most like to live in? Remember, that means what sort of house would you most like?
Mình sẽ thích ở loại nhà nào nhất.
I the most house I like to live apartment think apartment is the first, and because it's high, so because apartment can hide and air very fast.
Okay, an apartment that is high up.
High up,
Yes, so it's high up.
high up,
Yeah.
and the air is very fast.
Okay, so your apartment that is high up is quieter, because you don't hear much traffic, and the air is very fresh.
Yeah.
So for a question like this, you can also say maybe where you would like to live. So, for example, I would like to live in an apartment at Ocean Park. Okay, the houses there are very new. Okay, and Ocean Park, the air is very clean and it is quiet, not much traffic, and the apartments there are very nice and modern. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. All right. One last question for you, Mark, and it is: why do you think some people invest a huge amount of money in buying a house?
Well, in my opinion, I think people spend a lot of money in purchasing a house, a big house, because they want more privacy, and also some will want to have a special house for their family.
Okay, good. Okay, good English. That's good. All right. Are there any questions about that? Part one now.
No, thank you.
Okay, good. So you're both doing fine. All right. Okay. So just remember the plan, the strategy for part one questions is answer the question and give an what is next? Yeah. Give an answer the question. Yeah. And give an
Answer and explain.
correct and explain. Explain your answer. You know, I want to live in a big apartment because. Okay. All right. And as Knockard did there before, if the question starts with "Do you think?" then you can say "In my opinion." Okay. Then you can say "In my opinion." If they ask you what you think. Okay. All right. So part two. So the strategy for part two, remember, is, I'll remind you of this, okay, you can follow the bullet points, but you don't have to. All right? So for this question, of course, this is a hard question. I'll give you another one, I think, in a moment, okay? But, okay, so you have to answer this question, describe an interesting speech, but you don't need to use their bullet points if you don't want to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sure, use the bullet points if you find them useful, but you can make up your own. And the reason you would make up your own is because if you have some sort of member story or experience to talk about. Because, as I've said, it is often much easier to talk for 2 minutes if you are talking from memory about some experience you've had. Okay? Than trying to follow their bullet points and trying to think of some answer. Alright? As long as the experience has something to do with the main topic. Alright. So, for example, you might say, I'll just give you an example. I'll give you both another question in a moment. But an example experience for this question could be, I remember going to the United States and I heard Donald Trump talk. Okay? The speech was interesting, but what was more interesting was the reaction of the people in the crowd. There were maybe about 10,000 people there, and they were all chanting and they were waving signs, and every time he said something, everyone would clap and cheer, and it was very hard to hear what Donald Trump was saying. The other reason I really liked it was because they were selling my favorite food there, which is hot dogs. Okay, I really like hot dogs. I especially like hot dogs with tomato sauce. Okay, and maybe a little bit of chili. Oh, and also I like French fries with my hot dogs. But that was a great experience to have them there at the stadium. Can you see what I have done there?
Yeah.
I have stopped talking about these, and I'm talking about my experience in the stadium at the Donald Trump speech. So I am still answering the question, okay, but now I am talking from memory about what I most enjoyed about being there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay? And so I don't need to answer these. What was his speech about? Well, I can't remember, it doesn't matter. I would rather talk about the hot dog, okay, that I had when I was there. Does that make sense? Okay, so as long as you were talking about something that is kind of connected to the original topic, that is fine. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, I will give you a different topic each now, okay? All right, and you will have
Câu hỏi từ những cái điểm.
Is it okay, Mrs. Hart?
Không mà phải nói những cái gì.
Yes, now it's okay.
Một là nghe nói con tóc
Terrible.
Yeah, terrible, all the ink.
Yeah.
All the ink came out just when you tried to change the cartridge.
nghe nói con về chủ đề rất là
Thuốc giống như đó.
Oh yeah. Glad it didn't happen during class time.
Yes.
Do you have any scissors?
I use a Good, please. Nếu có tay một cái đổ hết này, đổ một giờ rồi.
nhưng mà nó là bị dỉ ra hay là
Bật cái nắp ra. Sọc quá.
từ nó vỡ ra.
Bật cái nắp. Bảo cho con dọn cái này hãy như xong.
So Nokha, this is the last time I will see you face to face before you do the test. So remember, if you have